So funnily, it's Christmas right now, and probably like 2 days ago, when I was reading something, I came up across this study which ties in perfectly to Christmas and all the food and cakes you get, and has something to do with perpetual fluency. And I really wanted to share this because I think a lot of people are not using this and not thinking about this when they optimize their online shops. So let me explain it really quick. You've all probably had a bunch of cake in the past days, and what I want you to think about is this. So what you're going to see on the screen right here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. So there are, oh, now my screen is, my Figma is bugging. Super sorry for that. Here we go. So what I want you to look at are the two pictures. And the one picture has a fork on the left, another has the fork on the right. And these pictures were actually used to figure out which one would sell more. And I was quite astonished when I saw the result, but I also do have to say that I sort of, after I read the study and saw the result, I looked at the people that were at the Christmas table and how they were eating and how much they were eating, if the cutlery was on the left side or the right side. And very interestingly enough, the result of this one right here is that this on the right side had plus 20% more sales. And quite crazy probably, if you think about it. The only change here is that it literally is mirrored. And why is that? So this picture shows fork on the right side and fork on the left side. So essentially what happens is your brain needs to process the picture and think about, okay, well, the fork's on the left side, I would need to take the fork and then eat the cake, versus on the right side, your brain is like almost on autopilot. Like it knows, oh, fork's on the right side, it's easy to eat, it's food, etc. There you go. And this is only one example. Another one I want to show you, like take your hands, and I recently got this exercise from also a speaking coach actually. And what you're gonna do is you take your fingers and you're just gonna tap, starting with your thumb to the pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky, and do that, which is, yeah, quite easy. Like you can do it very good. And now what I want you to do, you're gonna start one hand with your pinky finger, the other one with your pointer finger. And you're gonna try to go, yeah, I can't even do it because I'm really bad at that. But I think you get it. You're gonna try to do that. And you can do this quite easily because that's on autopilot in your brain. But then if you need to do it the other way around, it's super hard to do. And that's also part of perpetual fluency. Your brain is processing everything. So let me maybe show you that right now. So every time you do something or you see something, it's gonna be a really bad sketch. So let's say this is you with eyes. Like every time you see something, like let's say here something is happening here, then your eyes see it. Then it needs to get processed in your brain, and then let's say here are the arms, whatever, and legs. Then every time you see something, it's getting processed in your brain, and then there's like an action gonna be sent to your hands. Like for example, in this case, I look at my fingers, action sent, touch your fingers now. Then same here again, and now I need to think, same here again. So you really need to think about it, versus that is just like running an autopilot because both hands are moving at the same speed, but it's way easier to do. And now what does that have to do with optimizing your online shop? Well, if you want your users to actually buy something, they need to think and they need to perceive something. And the easier you make it in their head and for them to do things, the more likely it is that they actually buy something from you. And one great example I wanted to bring with me is a test that we recently ran for Send a Friend. Some might know them. Some maybe actually have gifted something like that for Christmas. And what they do is they sell stuffed animals. And a big part of that is as well that they have personalized cards. Oh, not the sticky notes. So here we go. This right here. And what we realized when we looked into the analytics data, we saw that when people started typing in here, they had a huge drop-off rate. And we figured out that this drop-off rate probably is because you need to think from scratch, oh, what am I going to write in the card? You might have to go to GPT, you might have to go somewhere else. And that just made it way more complicated than it should be. So we came up with a very simple solution, which is just this section down here. So pretty much what we did, we asked all the customers send a friend what are the occasions that they are gifting the stuffed animals for. And we figured out a lot is for happy birthday, then I miss you, get well soon, just because, then for Christmas, and now could be Merry Christmas. And then what we did, we had like a pre-filled text in here. And then people were able to customize it based on what they wanted to do. But this step heavily decreased how much the brain had to work, how much it had to think, how much it had to process, and led to an uplift. I don't have the exact numbers here, but it was like 3.1%, something around these lines, and just for making it easier. And what I want you to do now is go to your shop, think about and go through where does your brain actually have to think, and try to think about solutions. How can you make it easier? If you have a roadblock, if you find something that is super hard to think about, but you cannot come up with a solution, just DM me like DM me like Perpetual Fluency so I know which post the message is related to, or send me the post, and I'd be glad to help you figure out how you can solve it. I just want to give an example because I think it's super important. I hope you learned something, and